Hey there, I'm Senki, and in this video I want to take a look at ship frames, what they are and how they work. If you've been following Starbase for a bit, you've probably noticed that shipbuilding is a very important part of the game. Shipbuilding in Starbase has a ridiculous level of freedom, meaning ships can get quite exotic. The most important part of any ship is its frame, because that's what carries all the weight of the other parts. Without a good frame, a ship won't be able to fly well, or might even just snap in half. Now let's get building and have a look at how you can build a reliable frame. The pieces that make up a ship's frame are called beams. To make a valid frame you'll need at least 3 of them, but on most ships you'll end up having quite a few more than that. To be considered a frame, these beams will need to be connected to at least 2 other valid beams, so 2 other beams that are each connected to 2 beams as well. I'll show some examples of this later. Once you have your beams placed and welded, you'll notice the durability tool still says you don't have a ship frame. This is because to calculate the stresses on your ship's frame, at least one hardpoint with a thruster on it is needed. So, go and add your hardpoints and thrusters, and then you can see the durability tool shows your ship's warp class. The warp class basically shows how sturdy the connections between parts of your ship are. So it doesn't necessarily mean a lot, but it does give an indication of whether your ship can hold its own weight. An important thing to note about frames is that some components, like thrusters, only work if they're connected to a valid ship frame. Since a blueprint can only have one section of frame that's considered the actual frame, this means you can't have thrusters on turntables or sliders, for example. Now about those examples. Here you see a normal ship frame with thrusters connected to it. This frame is sturdy enough to carry the weight that's on it, so the warp class is above 1 and there are no durability errors. This is the minimum setup required to make a valid frame. 3 beams, each connected to the other 2, a hardpoint and a thruster. While this doesn't yet work as a ship, it does allow you to buy and spawn the blueprint if you felt like it. This is what happens if you try to put too many thrusters on a frame that isn't sturdy enough. The warp class is below 1 and there's durability errors on the frame. You can click on these to see what the issue is and try to solve it if you want. Another issue could be this, for example. Your ship has a good frame and thrusters bolted to it, but the durability tool still says you don't have a ship frame. This could mean the hardpoints are not bolted to your frame properly, because they do need at least 2 bolts to count. Lastly, it could happen that you accidentally made your beams the wrong material. Generally, you'll want to make your beams out of bastium, since it's currently the best material for carrying stress in the game. You might be able to make some beams a lighter material though, if they don't have too much weight to carry. That's really all there is to it for the ship's frame. While it's probably the most important part of your ship, it's likely you won't see much of it in the end. Feel free to get creative with it though. Beams can absolutely be part of the aesthetic of a ship. I hope this video helps you understand the basics of building a ship frame and the issues that could arise with it. If it did, please do leave a like and comment what you'd like to see covered next. Thank you so much for watching. This was Senki and I'll see you next time.